Massage on Saturday, magic hands will come out and bring your legs back to life.
Yeah, massage on Saturday, travel down to the airport Monday, fly on Tuesday, win on Saturday. Alright guys, you're probably wondering how come I'm not in Ironman Florida. The race is going to happen in 3-4 days time. Well, currently it's Tuesday here and the race is on Saturday, so I was due to fly out today. Actually, two and a half hours ago I was meant to be on a flight, but unfortunately a serious chain of events happened on the weekend. On Sunday morning, probably about 10 o'clock time, I was getting ready to go out on a bike ride with my friend Phil, and then we were just having a coffee. I was like chatting, and then randomly I just couldn't talk. Like, I knew what I wanted to say to him. I was in the middle of like saying a story, but the words just wouldn't come out. It was like I was talking like a baby or something. Like, yeah, just totally incohesive words. And then Laura was like, because my wife was there as well, she was like, this isn't normal. And I said to her, something's not right, because it went after a little bit. She was ringing up the ambulance, because it felt like I was like having a stroke or something. So she was ringing up the ambulance. While she was on the phone to them, they asked me to do some stuff with my hands, my body and stuff like that, and I could do it. And then my voice came back and I was able to talk normally again. So she said, don't worry about the ambulance to him, I'll take him there, because we knew it wasn't a case of like, you need to get there within 5 minutes, you know, I had a bit more time. So anyway, I said to her, I'm just going to go out on the bike, and she was a bit like, ooh, do you think that's the right thing? I said, I feel fine, I feel okay, Phil's with me, we just won't go that far away from home. But anyway, went down the stairs and sat there, I was getting ready, I felt a little bit dizzy, and then my memory just went so bad that I just didn't know who Phil was. Like, it was such a bizarre feeling. Like, I knew I recognised him, but I just didn't know what his name was. And I said to Laura, I said, I don't even know what his name is, like, what is your name? And this is someone that I've trained with loads over the last 18 months, 2 years. You know, we've trained together like 4 or 5 times a week sometimes. So it was completely bizarre that would happen. And then Laura tested me on a few other things. Like, I couldn't remember the meat that I had with my dinner last night. Like, it was pork, but I didn't know the word for it. And some other stuff, like close friends of the family, I didn't know their names. And I said, I think something's wrong. I think I need to go to hospital. And she was like, yeah, like, no shit almost. So went in the car. I had to like leave Phil. He went out, did his ride. Laura took me to the hospital. Went there and they kind of got me through. Put me in like a CT scan, had that. Like, thankfully that showed it was okay. Ended up staying the night there and then having an MRI the following day. Thankfully that showed that everything was good in that regard, and then spoke to the doctor at the time, and he didn't think it was anything too serious, but I need to take it easy for a couple of days. And obviously, having spent the night in hospital on Sunday night, it wouldn't have been a smart decision to head to the airport the next day and then try and race Ironman Florida. But I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have been able to. I can't race Ironman Florida anyway, because I still need to do another test, and my medical insurance wouldn't be valid if I did fly out there. And then that's obviously not to go on the health side of the things as well, you know. Like, I don't really want to put myself under a lot of stress a few days after having a big episode like this, because it was quite worrying at the time, you know. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I actually thought, am I having a stroke, you know? Completely out of the blue. Like, I've never had anything like this. It turns out that this can be a precursor to a migraine, where you can have something like this happen. Like, I'd never known about that before. It's very rare and would normally happen on older people. And I have had a couple of migraines in the past, but we're talking 2 in 10 years. And I didn't feel like this was a really painful headache. Like, so I said to him, the doctor, would it have been a migraine if it wasn't that painful? Because to be honest, I would have normally gone out for a run or a bike ride or something with a headache of the severity, what that felt like, the one that came on after that. And he said, it doesn't necessarily have to be a really painful headache. It's just the type. So it seems like that was what it was down to. But obviously at the time it was very worrying, and I've just got one more test to put that to bed and to make sure it was that and not anything more serious. But he said it could be something that I never experience again. I could experience it in 15 years' time, potentially. But he said take it easy, because you don't want an episode like that to come on again in the next few days if one's just happened. So Florida's off the cards. It just wouldn't have been right to do that. And then what's looking like next was I was oohing and ahhing. Do I do Cozumel? Maybe I should do Cozumel, because I kind of felt like I did want to get one more race in for the year. But then I went swimming last night and I kind of weighed up the pros and the cons. And if I'm honest, the pros and the cons were, the pros of doing the race would have been, it would have been great to race against a good quality field. Cozumel's got a very strong field as well, like Florida. It would have given me a few extra weeks to get ready and get over this and make sure I was okay. And the third one would have been in regards for sponsors, getting new sponsors for next year, renewing contracts and stuff. It would be good to finish the year on a high and, kind of keep your name up there, and be up there against a really quality field. That was the pros. But then when I went for a little kind of, I say swim yesterday, it was more of a paddle with the baby, really. And I think I did 500 metres, 600 metres, so not really much of a swim. But while I was there, I was having to think about it, and my heart wasn't really in Cozumel after all this that had happened. Secondly, I thought there's going to be such a big year next year with the Ironman Pro Series potentially doing 3 or 4 full distance races. It doesn't seem smart to add an Ironman in at the end of November for the sake of it, when if you imagine that I'd be doing 4 Ironman races in the series next year, that would be 5 in a 12-month period, plus at least 2 halves, which to me seems like it would be overkill and probably quite detrimental to that series. Also, I've been training really well up until this. My swimming's been improving quite a lot. I know I keep saying that, and it hasn't shown it in a race, but it has been going well in training. I'm quite happy to say that. And do you need to put yourself in a hole at the end of the year for the sake of it, and even if it's at the detriment to next year? And I don't think so. I'm happy with how things are progressing. Maybe I just take some time off. I'm not in a hole. I can then resume where I'm where I've left off with my swimming and running, take some steps forward, and then hopefully hit the ground running and come into Oceanside and Texas next year, which are definitely 100% going to be my next races, unless something goes drastically wrong. But all going good, that's where I'm looking to hit the ground running. So maybe it makes more sense to just get in training, keep doing what I'm doing, and then hit the ground in really good fitness for those, and get some good races. So that was another kind of positive that I kind of thought about if I did, or a negative if I did do the race, that I wouldn't have as much time to train for that. Lastly, it would have been my health. If I've had something like this and they say take it easy for 4 days, do you really want to be doing an Ironman 3 weeks later? I mean, I don't know how hard I'd want to train after something like this before a race, and it would seem, I mean, an Ironman's not to be taken lightly, really, is it? It's the hardest one-day endurance event in the world. So if you've had something like this, it doesn't seem sensible to race an Ironman 3 weeks later. It could be your body telling you something like, have a rest, have a break, and come back next year. So I think I'm just going to have a bit of time off with the family, maybe go on holiday somewhere for a week or 2, put the feet up, keep, just enjoy it, a mental break, give the body time to relax, and then full steam ahead for next year. And that's what I'm going to be looking to be doing. I just want to say though, good luck to everyone that's racing Ironman Florida. It's gutted that I can't be there. Everything had been going so well. I mean, everything had been packed. I'd sorted everything out. I'd booked the hire car, the hotel, the accommodation. We were going to go on a family holiday afterwards, so I was really looking forward to it. And it's very disappointing not to be able to take part. And to everyone that's doing Cozumel, good luck in that. I can't believe I'm not going to get another chance to do an Ironman and a beer mile this year. But it will have to be, it is what it is. Tom's going to be out in Cozumel, so if anyone's out in Cozumel and fancies doing a beer mile, I'm sure Tom will organise that, and I'm sure someone can organise one in Florida for people to keep the tradition going. Unfortunately, I won't be there, but I'll be following both races with eager interest, and look forward to seeing everyone next year on the start line, fit and healthy. And yeah, have a good winter, everyone. Have a good end of season if you're still racing, and see you in California in April.